Welcome viewers, you're now watching Hornbill TV. This is your anchor Kekrizanya Solo, bringing to you a special coverage this evening. I bet we've all heard or utilized Blinkit at some point. If no, then Blinkit is a quick commerce grocery delivery app. It is currently available in over 200 cities across India. Blinkit does not operate as, say, a traditional storefront franchise. Instead, it uses an asset-light partner program. So what it does is local partners set up and manage the daily operations of a micro warehouse, which is also called a dark store. This includes stuffing, sorting, inventory and packing orders. Blinkit completely controls the consumer app, manages product procurement, sets the pricing, handles national marketing and dispatches the delivery executive. That's Blinkit in simple terms. So it does sound like a very useful Q-commerce service, right? But there is a but here. While Blinkit may be viable for the metropolitans, it might not be so for Tier 3 urban centers like Meghalaya or Nagaland or the other states of Northeast. That's why recently the Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council has officially denied a mandatory trading license to Blinkit, effectively halting the quick commerce giant's expansion plans into Meghalaya. The Khasi Autonomous District Council, KHADC, has officially denied a mandatory trading license to Blinkit. The council stated that the halt is to protect the livelihoods of over 4,000 indigenous shopkeepers and also the local grocery store owners from the rapid delivery model. The council worried that if people brought groceries online in just 10 minutes, no one would walk to the small local family shops anymore. So coming back to Nagaland, we have all to some extent expected Blinkit or some other Q-commerce in the state too. Expanding a service like Blinkit into Nagaland would likely cause a very similar negative impact on local shopkeepers. If a rapid delivery app entered major commercial hubs like Dimapur or Kohima, it would cause both friction and debate due to the following reasons. Firstly, it is likely to cause market displacement because just like Shillong, Nagaland's towns rely heavily on neighboring grocery stores locally as pawn shops or kirana stores. If people started ordering groceries on apps for immediate delivery, these small shops would lose their everyday customers. And next is massive e-commerce companies which have the funding to offer low prices and discounts that local independent tribal shopkeepers simply cannot match. Another reason on the fray is money leaving the local community. When residents buy from local shops, that money stays within Nagaland's economy. But with large external apps, a significant portion of the profit flows back to corporate headquarters outside the state. But one important point is while the impact on shopkeepers is shared concern, Nagaland regulates outside businesses differently than Meghalaya. Thanks to Article 371A. Nagaland is protected by a special constitutional provision called Article 371A. And this gives the Nagaland Legislative Assembly final authority over land ownership and local trade rules. Talking about trade rules, in a state like Nagaland, granting a trade license to a major quick commerce or national franchise company such as Blinkit would have a much deeper impact than simply opening another business. It could somehow reshape how money, supply chains, consumer behaviors and entrepreneurship function within the state. Because Nagaland's commercial ecosystem is relatively small, relationship-driven and locally interconnected. Even one large outside commercial player can influence the entire flow trade of Nagaland. Currently, much of Nagaland's economy circulates through local grocery stores, tribal or community-based businesses, family-run wholesalers, informal vendor networks, local markets when a large app-based franchise enters. It also, consumers may gradually shift spending to the platform. Daily purchases become centralized through one system. Small retailers lose repeat customers, giving trade license to major quick commerce franchise in Nagaland could also modernize retail and logistics, create jobs and investment, improve convenience and digital trade. But on the other hand, it could also pull spending away from local businesses, increase outside corporate influence, and also pressure small entrepreneurs. It can also change traditional market culture. So in a place where commerce is closely tied to community survival, that becomes a political and also a social issue. It is not just a business issue. So the debate here is not really about convenience. It is about control over Nagaland's future commercial ecosystem. Should rapid delivery giants be allowed to reshape local trade in the name of modernization, even if it risks weakening thousands of small indigenous businesses and community-run shops? Supporters may argue that quick commerce brings job, investment, faster services and digital growth, which is true to some extent, but critics warn that in a small, tightly connected economy like Nagaland, the entry of large platforms could slowly centralize consumer spending, drain profits out of the state and place local entrepreneurs at a major disadvantage. And that is exactly why the issue becomes bigger than business. It becomes a question of economic self-preservation, indigenous commercial rights, and whether Nagaland's traditional market culture can coexist with the aggressive expansion of app-based commerce. A quick commerce races into India's future. The real question for Nagaland now is that can modern convenience coexist with the survival of its local market economy? And with that, we wrap up this special coverage. Thank you for watching Hornbill TV.